I had no idea about this. The lockout for baseball, because of it, it caused arbitration hearings that normally are held in February between clubs and players to be held throughout the season. Arbitration is ancient material, folks. It's wild. Baseball is the only sport where if a player hasn't yet to reach free agency yet, and they're eligible to have their salary increased, the team and the player doesn't get together and can't figure out what a salary is, they go in front of an arbiter. And they give a figure, the team gives a figure, the player gives a figure, and then the arbiter decides which one wins. And the problem with this process is it's not conducive for relationship building, because a team's number is less than the player's number, and the team, in order to make sure they win and give less money to the player, essentially denigrate the player. Players like, I deserve this much. No, you don't. You deserve less than, because you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. It's not a positive process. Player who goes through arbitration hates it. Sure, a team doesn't love it either, but I don't know why the hell the baseball still does this, but they do. And for some reason, because of the lockout, they're doing it during the season. There's one last arbitration case on the docket. You know whose it is? Tomorrow. It's slated for tomorrow. Aaron Judge. According to John Heyman, the New York Post, they're still scheduled for an arbitration hearing tomorrow. No sign of talks yet. The Yankees want to give him $17 million. Judge wants $21 million. Hey, Yankees. Are you out of your minds? $4 million. Hal's got that in the ashtray. Are you kidding me? The Yankees don't have $4 million to just hand over to Judge as a thank you for the first start of this season. He's an MVP player for your team. So what are you going to do? You're going to go in tomorrow and say, because you can't use these stats, Judge can't use these stats in the arbitration hearing this year, in the same way that the team wouldn't be able to use it to the detriment of the player if Judge did what most New York athletes under this situation, who turned down $30 million a year over 7 years prior to the season because it's not enough, they normally get eaten alive. They don't put out an MVP season, a clear MVP season for a team that wins 50 of their first 67. So Aaron Judge is doing all this with arbitration hanging over his head too. Just give him the $4 million. What, are you out of your minds? What, are you going to grind Aaron Judge in the middle of the season for $4 million?
I think they need to really think about postponing this and stretch this out. Maybe
all the way through to September?
Yeah, I think into September maybe.
Yeah, maybe
like
before game one of a playoff series, you finally get your $4 million back from Aaron Judge. You don't want to pay him?
Pay that man his money.
Damn straight you do. What are we doing?
Man, he's going to look so good on the Angels next year.
Well, that's the point too, is that the Yankees are probably figuring, like, we'll give him the generationally enriching contract that he's looking for next year, and we'll forget all this stuff. But in the meantime, there's a season to go win.
Right.
Everybody's feeling good. They're feeling great. Judge looks amazing. And you're going to grind him in arbitration in the middle of the season? I read that. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Hey, Hal. Sell more of those nasty Nestor T-shirts and give the money to Judge. Those Yoda bobblehead dolls. I'll buy one. Give it to Judge. What you doing?
Again, if
they I know, you Red Sox fans, you're loving it.
Stretch this out a little bit.
What the hell? I couldn't believe it.
No need to come to a settlement right away.
Arbitration in the middle of the season with Aaron Judge, and you're like, there's no talks of a settlement yet? What are you trying to say? Let's split it in the middle and save the $2 million?
Judge is so far in front of the MVP betting right now.
It's stupid.
Minus 125. Trout and Ohtani are plus 500.
The Yankees have their own television network. Forget about the stadium and the revenue the team generates. And they got that business with Jerry Jones selling stadium signage deals for other teams and other leagues and other countries.
They do the PSLs,
give me a break.
Licenses and all that.
And it's not like the NFL or the NBA where there's a cap. You can go over it.
No cap.
There is, well, I mean, there's a luxury tax. I don't even know what the rules are. Would this go over the luxury? Who cares if there's a luxury tax?
Right? That's the Warriors owners if they care about a salary cap.
That's why the Warriors are going to, that they've been dominant and they're going to be.
Yeah.
Because Joe Lacob isn't sitting there going, well, can we really re-sign him? Are we really going to give the max to Andrew Wiggins at some point? Because we're going to go over the tax. And you know what? They're already 50. They were 50 million over the cap this year. They don't care.
Don't
Normally,
care.
And if there's any team that could do that, it's the Yankees. George M. Steinbrenner III would tell Aaron Judge, here's your $4 million. And if I give you the $4 million, you better win the World Series. And that would put the pressure on the player a little bit more. But it appears Aaron Judge would say, okay, I got you.
He'd give him a check in a calzone.
And I know we're arguing between, hey, he's going to be offended, $17 million. But in order for them to get him the $17 million, they got to tell an arbiter he's not worth the $21 million. And that's what makes arbitration stink on ice. A team has got to tell a player who they, I'm assuming, adore and the fan base loves, you're not that good. You think you're that good? Well, we think you're not. And here are the statistics that show that you're not. And you'll have to hear that and like it and continue to be the MVP player in the middle of an incredible season.
Hello.
Cut it out. Give him the money, son of George. Cough it up, Hal.